Energy and Commerce Committee. And we will go next to the gentlelady from Indiana, Ms. Brooks, for 4 minutes to resume questioning.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thank you, Mr. Zuckerberg, for being here today. It's so critically important that we hear from you and your company, because we do believe that it's critically important for you to be a leader in these solutions. One thing that's been talked about just very little, but I think is very important, and I want to make sure there's appropriate attention on how the platform of Facebook, but even other platforms, and you've mentioned it a little bit, how you help us in this country keep our country safe from terrorists. And so that I've talked with lots of people who actually continue to remain very concerned about recruitment of their younger family members, and now we're seeing around the globe an enhanced recruitment of women as well to join terrorist organizations. And so I'm very, very concerned. I'm a former US attorney, and so when 9/11 happened, you didn't exist. Facebook didn't exist. But since the evolution after 9/11, we know that Al-Shabaab, Al-Qaeda, ISIS has used social media like we could not even imagine. So could you please talk about, and then you talked about the fact that if there is content that is objectionable or is a danger, that people report it to you. But what if they don't? What if everybody assumes that someone is reporting something to you? So I need you to help assure us, as well as the American people, what is Facebook's role, leadership role, in helping us fight terrorism and help us stop the recruitment, because it is still a grave danger around the world.
Congresswoman, thanks for the question. Terrorist content and propaganda has no place in our network, and we've developed a number of tools that have now made it so that 99% of the ISIS and Al-Qaeda content that we take down is identified by these systems and taken down before anyone in our system even flags it for us. So that's an example of removing harmful content that we're proud of, and that I think is a model for other types of harmful content as well.
Can I ask, though, and I appreciate, and I've heard you say 99%, and yet I didn't go out and, look for this, but yet, as recently as March 29th, ISIS content was discovered on Facebook, which included an execution video, March 29th. On April 9th, there were 5 pages located on April 9th of Hezbollah content, and so forth. And so, what is the mechanism that you're using? Is it artificial intelligence? Is it the 20,000 people? What are you using to, because it's not, I appreciate that no system is perfect, but yet this is just within a week.
Congressman, it's a good question, and it's a combination of technology and people. We have a counterterrorism team at Facebook.
How large is it?
200 people. Are just focused on counterterrorism, and there are other content reviewers who are reviewing content that gets flagged to them as well. So those are folks who are working specifically on that. I think we have capacity in 30 languages that we're working on. And in addition to that, we have a number of AI tools that we're developing, like the ones that I'd mentioned, that can proactively go flag the content.
And so you might have those people looking for the content. How are they helping block the recruiting?
Yes,
which is still your platform, as well as Twitter, and then WhatsApp is how they then begin to communicate, which I understand you own. Is that correct?
Yes.
So how are we stopping the recruiting and the communications?
So we identify what might be the patterns of communication or messaging that they might put out, and then design systems that can proactively identify that and flag those for our teams. That way we can go and take those down.
Thank you. My time is up. I thank you, and please continue to work with us and all the governments who are trying to fight terrorism around the world.
Thank you. We will. And Mr. Chairman, if you don't mind, before we go to the next question, there was something that I wanted to correct in my testimony from earlier. When I went back and talked to my team afterwards, I'd said that if this was in response to a question about whether weblogs that we had about a person would be in Download Your Information. I had said that they were. And I clarified with my team that, in fact, the weblogs are not in Download Your Information. we only store them temporarily, and we convert the web logs into a set of ad interests that you might be interested in those ads, and we put that in the download your information instead, and you have complete control over that. So I just wanted to clarify that one for the record.
Thank you. We'll go now to a gentleman from California, Mr. Ruiz.